Good evening, Gills fans. Welcome back to Gills in the Blood TV. I'm sure you are all very aware today is 20 years to the day since the Gills won at Wembley against Wigan 3-2 after extra time, thus sending the club into the old First Division, now the Championship, for the first and only time in their history. The club have been tweeting out today, as have I, so I hope first of all that you've enjoyed all the coverage from the various social media outlets. Tonight's video is just a little reminisce, fan memories and player memories of that wonderful day, May the 28th, 2000. I remember getting on the train in the morning with some mates, and the excitement was building the closer we got to London Victoria. As soon as we got into London, it was apparent that Gills had taken a monumental amount of fans, and we outnumbered our Wigan counterparts vastly, didn't we? But fair play to the people who travelled from the north. Not a big football town, but they certainly made themselves heard. But the Gills fans, we were incredible. The build-up throughout the afternoon leading up to kick-off was something to behold. We all remember Iffy's opening goal, or Pat McGibbon's own goal, as it was officially credited, even though plenty of us probably wanted to give it to Iffy. And then at half-time, we're thinking 45 minutes, big performance, and we're there. But Simon Howarth, credit to him, scored a really good equaliser. And we were on the back foot for a while. And I remember watching back the highlights after the game, shortly after that day, and more recently, and thinking that Peter Taylor made a very crucial change in getting Paul Smith on, moving Ty Gooden to wing back on the hour, and it gave us a foothold in the game again. Red card for Kevin Sharp shortly before full-time meant that we were big favourites heading into the additional 30 minutes, but Barry Ashby gave away a soft penalty, and I think there was about 50,000 of us, including Ash, myself and everyone else from Kent, in the ground thinking, here we go again, it's Man City happening all over. Peter Taylor, credit to him, made two big changes. Steve Butler and Andy Thompson were introduced. So we had three strikers on the pitch. And yeah, 5 or 6 minutes from the end of extra time, wonderful ball from my man of the match, Junior Lewis, on his left foot. Steve Butler rises like a salmon and heads it into the roof of the net. And we're thinking, is it going to go to a penalty shootout again? But thankfully it didn't. In between time, we had Andy Hessenthaler's claims for a penalty that were waved away by Rob Stiles. Hesse, ever giving his opinion to the man in the middle, got booked for his troubles. But luckily it made no real difference. And a couple of minutes later, Ty Gooden, and that is a good one. We all know the iconic commentary now from Sky Sports. Andy Thompson gets across his man. I think it's Aryan Dezeu, plants a diving header into the bottom corner. Absolute bedlam in the Gillingham end, hugging strangers, hugging our mates, crying, not too big to admit that. A wonderful, wonderful feeling, and a real feeling of righting the wrongs from the previous year when we got beaten on penalties by Manchester City. The train journey home was wonderful. I think myself and my mates all congregated in a pub when we got back and drunk ourselves to sleep, probably. It's a long time ago, but some of it is a bit hazy for varying reasons, age and alcohol. But it was just a wonderful, wonderful day, and it set us on a journey for the most wonderful 5 years in the club's existence, in my opinion. Anyway, that's enough from me. I'm going to enjoy a beer and let you listen to some other fans and players' memories of that wonderful afternoon.
So there's a few memories for me of the day. First one being that my mum forgot the tickets, and we only realised at Rochester, having got on at Gillingham, which wasted probably another hour of the day, which meant we got there quite late, so didn't absorb much of the match day experience. I remember going to toilet and missing the first goal that Anura/McGibbon scored, which wasn't great either. I was 11 at the time, and I cried my eyes out when the penalty was given and then scored, because I assumed we'd blown it again. And then I can't really remember the Butler goal too much, but I just remember the Thompson goal, everyone going absolutely mental. And I think I landed about probably 12 rows. It sounds like exaggeration, but I think as an 11-year-old, I surfed down about 12 rows on top of people, and it was just brilliant. And the celebrations obviously probably weren't as good as they would have been with the age I am now. Would have been a bit better than back then as an 11-year-old, but I just remember being absolutely buzzing for all the games that were to come. A great day.
Wembley 2000, fantastic day, obviously. And all the years watching Gillingham, without a shadow of a doubt, it's got to be the greatest day as a Gillingham supporter. I remember heading up on the day, I felt we were there to put right what we should have won the year before. So it wasn't really about Wembley that year. It wasn't the same feeling. It was about going and getting promoted, because we weren't the best team, to be fair. We had such good players. And I just remember Ash giving away the penalty, which was never a penalty. And I thought we'd blown it again. I think probably everyone had. But then obviously the 2 goals that came after changed everything. And I don't remember ever feeling that good in my life. And I don't think I ever have since. And yeah, it was just mental afterwards, wasn't it? Wherever ended up in London, Trafalgar Square, I don't know. I can't even remember, to be honest. But definitely the greatest days as a Gillingham supporter. And yeah, we'll never forget it.
Hello to all you Gills fans. It's the 20th anniversary of your promotion to the Championship against Wigan at Wembley. You know, it was a great day for the club. I'm glad the boys did it a year later. You know, the disappointment of the year before for the whole club and for the supporters. But I feel that the squad kept together well. I know I was only part of it until October, but the camaraderie, the togetherness of the team, I knew they could push it again to try and get promoted. And you know, it's fantastic to be part of that. And my goals, I thought, helped a little bit towards the promotion. But it was just fantastic. The season come to the end, and you know, the club got what they deserved. And just want to say, you know, for me, it was just a great start to the season for me, and I love being at Gillingham Football Club. And it was just a fantastic time, and play with some very good players and honest players, and the togetherness was unreal. So just want to say, you know, after 20 years anniversary, congratulations on that day. It's a pity we didn't do it the year before, but that's football, and that's just my message for you guys today. Thank you very much.
After the disappointment the year before, I wasn't sure that I'll be able to face another playoff. But when we started walking around the ground before the game, at Wembley Stadium, and seeing a huge number of Gills fans there, I felt more at ease. I felt we were in the right place and we deserved to be there again. The noise that when the teams came out was just unbelievable noise. I'd never heard that. I didn't appreciate the noise that we made after the previous season. And it struck me how small the Wigan contingent were that day. They're so small, supported club. And thought, man, that might have an influence on the performance on the pitch. The thing that's difficult about player games is when you're so intensely involved in the match, you don't really have an appreciation of how well your team is playing and how well the other side's playing. It's just too much nervous energy. I don't know about you. I can't even watch Gillingham on television relaxing. It's just not possible. After the first goal went in, I remember ringing up my mum and asking her who scored the goal, because obviously we couldn't see. And she replied, I couldn't tell you, I couldn't see. I said, Mum, there's 20 cameras in the ground, you must know. No, she couldn't help me. It didn't really matter, we'd scored anyway, and that was it. As I said, you don't appreciate it at the time, but Howard's goal for equaliser for Wigan was absolutely outstanding, a really cracking goal. I don't think I appreciated that till later on, especially knowing the result. I think during the game the key moment was the sending off of Kevin Sharp. 2 ridiculously silly things he did. Referee was totally right. Even though Rob Stiles was always a showman, you know, remember his performance in the home match in the playoff semi-finals against Stoke, but he still managed to do his showman thing and found a way to award a penalty to Wigan in extra time. But I didn't feel totally bad at that point. I know it sounded ridiculous. And where Wigan fell into the trap was they had a 1 goal lead down to 10 men, and they just kept going back. And we had some class substitutes, didn't we? You know, Paul Smith, Steve Butler, and Andy Thompson coming on showed the depth of the squad actually. And that header from Stevie Butler was just outstanding, wasn't it? Wonderful cross from Junior Lewis, and what a wonderful ball in from Ty Gooden for Tomo's winner. Where we were sitting was just in the right place to see. As that the ball hit Tomo's head, we knew it was going in. I can't describe how I felt, or how I felt when the final whistle went. I'm not ashamed to admit I shed a few tears at the end. All the years of following at Gillingham, and finally we got to what was Division 1. It's a strange feeling leaving the ground afterwards and on the way home. After the disappointment of the previous week, I didn't speak to anybody for 24 hours after losing to Manchester City. I thought I'd be on the top of the world as we left the ground, but I didn't. I just had nothing, not down or anything like that. And it's only really the next day when I watched the game again and saw Tomo's header go in, and I started crying again. Then I realised I had nothing left after watching that whole match. I had nothing left inside me. I still have the odd tear when I see Tomo's header going in, because that was a wonderful time and a wonderful experience. And you say never look back, but I think you've got to at that, haven't you? Up the Gills.
After Gills fans from Costa del Walderslade. So Matt reached out for fans' memories of the playoff win against Wigan 20 years ago today. Now, I was probably one of only a handful of people from the Medway towns who didn't actually make it to Wembley on that Sunday afternoon. I'd arrived back from a lads' holiday in Tenerife on the Saturday before, so obviously I missed the playoffs and missed an opportunity to get the tickets. But 28th of May 2000 was also my 21st birthday, so we had a massive party at Mum and Dad's house, friends and family, with the game being the focal point in the afternoon. Remember everyone going mental in the living room when Tomo headed in the winner in extra time. Loads of drinks had, great celebrations after the game from Gills fans and non-Gills fans alike. And then in the evening, up the Ave in Gillingham, a few more sherbets to celebrate the win, and then getting some of the news and how the day had gone from a load of mates who had gone up to the game as well. So all in all, a fantastic day, great memories. Up the Gills.
Hiya, it's Nicky Southall here. Just doing a little bit for Gills in the blood. Obviously 20 years ago today, obviously the playoff final against Wigan. Can't believe it's been 20 years in fairness, but yeah, what a day. You fans out there were unbelievable, you know. It's a year to come back a year after having that disappointing massive game against Man City, to have it taken away from us in a cruel fashion, and to have the season we had leading up to the playoff final with the FA Cup run and everything that went about it was unbelievable. And it was a great collective effort from the fans, the players, the staff, everyone connected with Gillingham Football Club, and to go back to Wembley a year later and have such an iconic final again, and to get that much needed victory and to basically exercise the ghost of the Man City game. It was a fantastic, memorable goal to win the game. Obviously I've just done a live radio with BBC Kent with Andy himself, and a couple of great goals to seal the victory for us. You know, we didn't panic when everything was going against us. A rough penalty decision. I know they had a man sent off, but I think everyone's thinking that it's going to be the same as the Man City game, the outcome and that. But we had that inner strength, inner belief that we could come back and force the victory, which we did. And what a feeling to walk up the stairs after watching the Man City players walk up the year before. For us as players to walk across the gantry and pick up that trophy in front of 50,000 Gillingham fans, and wow, it'll never leave me, never will. Great admiration, fully respect for all you Gillingham fans. Obviously gutted with what's gone on this season, because it looks like it would have been an exciting one again. Doing really well. Football club seems to be on a level playing field, and got a good manager there, and good players, and obviously fantastic support. Cheers, have a good day guys.
Happy St Thomas Day, everybody. Can't believe it's 20 years ago since Tomo nodded that one into the back of the Wigan net and pushed us straight through to the Championship. What a day that was. I remember getting up, desperately trying to find my ticket from where I'd hidden it in the house for safekeeping, and then yeah, meeting up with the lads at Sittingbourne Station, jumping on the train and trying to work out whether we'd get into the pubs or not. And then yeah, piling out of Victoria Station, and just the sound of all the Gills voices echoing off that ceiling is something I will never forget. And then getting the tube over, thousands of Gills fans everywhere on the tube, heading over to Wembley, piling out of Wembley into the pub, up Wembley Way, and And again, not many Wigan fans about. Complete contrast to the City game the year before. And the game itself's a bit of a blur, to be honest. I still remember Ify Onora's one that just about crept over the line. Well, I say Ify Onora's the own goal that he forced in, that crept over the line. And then thinking we'd blown it when they went 2-1 up. Yeah, just like it's happening again. And then Junior Lewis with a belter of a ball. And then Ty Gooden with a belter of a cross. And what a nod down from Andy Thompson, and just delirium. Full credit to Wigan fans that day. They outsung us, but you know, we got the result we wanted and we ended up in the Championship. And the actual peak of being a Gills fan, I think, going back to Wembley and exercising the ghost from the City game the year before. So happy St Thomas Day all.
Good afternoon, mate. Thanks very much for asking me to give my thoughts on the 20th anniversary of what was a great playoff final for us. Sadly, I wasn't at Wembley for that. There was a newborn on the scene. He's now 20 years of age and unfortunately a Gooner and not a Gills fan, but that's the way it goes. We did, however, go to a friend's house and to watch it live on Sky, as we didn't have Sky at the time. So, yeah, as you can imagine, by the time extra time was there, I was well oiled. The roller coaster nature of this game was you just couldn't take your eyes off it. And when Andy Thompson's winner went in, I literally fell backwards onto my mate's sofa, skillfully managing to keep the contents of a tin of beer that I was holding. Well, I don't know what else is to say, really. Probably one of the most exciting Wembley finals. So don't ask a Manchester City fan. Obviously, they'll get plumped for the year before. But for me, yes, I will never lose the memory of that. And I'm always using the great commentating piece of Gooden, and that is a Gooden. I use that quite regularly in conversation. But yeah, it was a great afternoon, and I will never forget that, and it will forever be part of our history. Also, mate, well done during the lockdown. Keep up that great work. Always enjoy looking at your videos and reading your articles and getting involved. So thank you very much for keeping all Gills fans entertained during this difficult time. Thank you very much, mate. Bye-bye.
Hi Matt, hi Gills fans everywhere. Sorry I didn't send a message earlier in the day, but been a few things happening, and then the rerun of everything from Wembley. At this minute, 20 years ago, the final whistle was just going and started the best party I've ever been at. That went on for a good 24 hours or so. A few hangovers, and seen a few pictures today that I hadn't seen before, bringing back some good memories. So hope all you guys are enjoying the day, enjoying the memories. I'll never forget that day. Special day with a special group of mates, and hope the memories are good for you fans out there too. So I'm going to have a little drink now to celebrate. Cheers. See you soon.